We've spoken about active or discretionary fiscal policy, where the government acts in the economy to try and change it. But there are also built-in stabilizers in the economy. They're built in so that when the GDP starts increasing, it decreases the GDP by itself. These are built-in stabilizing. It says that anything to do with increasing the budget deficit during a recession, which is what we expected when we increase government spending during a recession, or increasing the budget surplus during times of inflation, if any of those things happen by itself, they're called automatic stabilizers, and it's called built-in stability. So this is passive or non-discretionary fiscal policy, and it can be used through the tax system of an economy. So here we have a graph with government spending being shown as a horizontal line and government revenue being shown as an upward sloping line. If that was the level of full employment, you would have a deficit here and a surplus here in times of when the real GDP is inflationary and in times of recession. But this, in terms of built-in stabilizers or active or non-discretionary policy, this would occur without any action from the government. So there is no decrease in government spending or increase in government spending here. This occurs by itself. And the way that this can occur by itself is through the tax system. If GDP starts to increase, and it turns out to be inflationary GDP on this side of full employment, then corporate profits will increase. And if corporate profits increase, the tax revenues that the government can create are going to be higher. So as real GDP starts to increase further and there's inflationary impact, the corporate profits increase, and so the tax revenues become higher, and so you get a budget surplus. Also, as real GDP starts to increase and go above full employment level, there is more employment. More laborers have jobs, and so the wage taxes that those laborers have will also increase. So the revenue will come into the government from an increase in the amount of laborers being used for taxes. Also, the progressive tax system that we have will also add to this budget surplus. In the progressive tax system, the greater the income, the more you are taxed. So as more people get a greater income with a higher real GDP, more taxes will come in and it will add to the surplus. All these factors work in reverse in terms of the deficit. So as the real GDP falls, corporate profits fall, revenues decrease, and you get a budget deficit. And also, as when real GDP falls, less people are being employed, so less people can pay taxes. And then also, the progressive tax system says that as income starts decreasing, people get taxed less and less, all adding to this budget deficit, which helps stabilize the economy by shifting those aggregate demand curves, and the budget surplus also helps stabilize the economy by shifting those curves. So these are built-in stabilizers. There is no actual action being taken by the government, but they help to keep the real GDP level at a relatively constant state.